Like most other teens, I feel pressure to conform. We all just want to fit in some way. Unfortunately, I've noticed that today, fitting in means refusing to acknowledge people we know in the halls and avoiding awkward interactions at all costs. When I became aware of this, my first thought was, has it always been this way? And while the short answer is yes, teens have always been self-conscious and awkward, our generation's relationship with technology has weakened our relationships with each other. I call this phenomenon of ignoring each other and avoiding social interaction the invisible wall, and it's helped me make sense of some of my awkward social interactions. A few of these examples may seem familiar to you. In middle school, my friends expressed to me their fear of seeing someone they knew in public. It was a slightly exaggerated phobia being tossed around. In many occasions, as I walked or biked to school past someone, I would be unsure whether or not to make eye contact. I found myself walking or biking past people on many occasions unsure of whether or not to make eye contact, only to end up ignoring them. In some of my high school classes, my teachers would ask a question and not a single person dared to respond, even if the answer was embarrassingly obvious. And my new favorite, the black Zoom screen. As humans, we naturally gravitate towards each other. We're social beings, and yet the new norm is to disregard others. This norm is so established in our society today that with every potential social interaction, we're faced with the uncomfortable decision between the awkwardness of explicitly ignoring someone and the awkwardness of breaking the invisible wall. As someone who really likes to socialize and engage with people, I see this wall as a problem related to desensitization. Desensitization is the process of causing someone to experience something, usually an emotion or a pain, less strongly than before, and typically after repeated exposure to it. The moment we were handed screens, they changed the way we interacted, and we became the digital generation. As the influence of technology in our lives grew, we became desensitized to both content and the technology itself. We now embrace interactions online without realizing it takes so much away from our community, our in-person interactions. Technology makes things easy. That's its job, especially communicating. But the physical separation we experience online is vastly different from the real world, and it provides artificial flexibility when communicating. We gravitate towards online communication because it acts as a safety net for awkward interactions. But when we pass up opportunities to develop in-person communication skills, we become less confident using them. It's a cycle. Connecting online is easy and allows us to avoid awkward interactions, so we gravitate towards that environment, giving us less practice in person, which decreases our confidence and increases our fear of awkward interactions. We have been desensitized to the value of in-person interactions, and we aren't aware of the negative impact technology is having on our ability to form relationships, our social health. While technology physically separates us, desensitization to content is also contributing to our social division. We naturally gravitate towards extremes, and social media gives us the platform to make our obsession with extremes relatable. The communities online that develop around controversial opinions and ideas become more comfortable. And the issue with this is that we rarely look beyond our own echo chambers. We get stuck in a group depending on which extremes we gravitate towards and become disconnected from others with different views. Evidently, this division between communities online transfers into the real world. We are judgmental of each other's differences, but even more fearful of being judged ourselves. Studies have shown that increased dependence on technology has resulted in the diminishing of empathy by limiting the amount of human interaction that takes place. We need in-person communication to develop empathy and learn how to set aside our judgments and our insecurities. Otherwise, meaningful relationships are really hard to achieve. So what do we do about it? The first step is acknowledging the good and bad aspects of technology, not just its negative impact on our emotional health and our physical health, but our social health as well. As part of the digital generation, we can join the conversation and provide a new perspective on technology and media. The sooner we add our own experiences to the sea of research, the sooner we can create solutions to unhealthy social norms. Along with this more long-term idea, we can use our awareness to make individual changes in the way that we interact. We need to be open-minded. It is so easy to become sheltered within our comfort zones and echo chambers. Ask people about opinions you may not agree with and genuinely try to understand them. We need to be educated consumers. Be aware of our role in digital society and know whether or not the content you are consuming is generally insensitive. Then distance yourself from adopting insensitive behavior. No one can stop you from enjoying controversial content, but understanding it from others' perspectives can help you interact empathetically with people who have different preferences. We also need to take breaks from our devices. We've heard this all before, but we rarely do it. Just imagine if you could lock your phone in a box for a week. That's what, around 6 extra hours every single day to use productively, however you want. We could spend time doing the hobbies we say we enjoy instead of mindlessly scrolling. Most importantly, we need to prioritize face-to-face interactions and understand our unhealthy relationship with technology. Meeting with friends face-to-face over Zoom, FaceTime, and voice call is much more beneficial, especially during COVID, to promoting long-lasting bonds with people. I challenge each and every one of you to go out and break that invisible wall. Wave, make eye contact, and smile at people you see walking past. You may be surprised at the smile you receive in return. You may be surprised at the joy you feel when that smile or wave is returned. Thank you.